fuck is going on, motherfuckers? Nah, I'm just playing. What up, man? It's your boy Kai. Today, I want to talk about reading. They say reading is fundamental, fun to mental. So, I mean, it seems like society almost looks down on intelligence, looks down on reading. Growing up, I remember I used to read a lot. I was just one of those kids. I always enjoyed reading, always had a book in my hand. And my friends was just, it's like they thought something was wrong with me. Like, why are you reading? Like, what we should be out playing basketball or going to chase girls. Or it was almost like it was a problem to be smart. Not that reading, I mean, well, actually, reading is smart. All these different words you're learning and comprehending. And, there's a lot of words that I don't even know the definition of, but I know how to read. I know how to use it in the proper context because I read so much. There's words that I could spell without even ever hearing them because I just read so much. I'm used to coming across new words, going in the dictionary and defining what they mean. So, I'm not afraid of any word. I'm not afraid of reading out loud like a lot of people are. None of that stuff ever bothered me because I was just always an avid reader. I think reading is just extremely important, because if you look at a lot of the people today, you'd be surprised, a lot of people don't know how to read. They don't know how to write. I'm great at a lot of those things because I read so much. I was somebody who always got straight A's in English class, straight A's in writing class. I believe it's because I read so much. Eventually, like my senior year, I guess they just seen me getting all these A's. They finally was like, we'll just put you in an AP English class. It went down to like a B plus. But yeah, reading was just always something that I always enjoyed. It just takes you to a whole different world. Let's say you're reading like an adventure book. It literally transports you. It's almost like watching television. It's an escape. It transports you to a whole nother world. When you get a great book, you can't put it down. Same way you get a great television show, you can't stop watching it. Or it's a great movie, you don't want to miss a second of it. I was a huge fan of the Harry Potter books growing up. Those are some of my favorite books. J.K. Rowling's probably the only author where I read that many of her books. Usually an author, I usually read like just one of their books. I don't really go and try to see what else they wrote. She's the only one who I read all 7 of those books. I mean, those are probably some of the most creative. She literally created an entire world for people to delve into. They eventually went and make movies, and the whole franchise is huge. And that always inspired me when I was young, to the point where I didn't realize it at the time, but the seeds was being planted for me to want to be a writer, a creative writer at that. So, I mean, reading has always been an integral part of my life. I always got a book in my hand. People see me with, they're like, man, you just devour books. Like, you always have a book in your hand. Suggest something for me. People always notice. And that's just how I know that people just don't read, because it's like, they're so shocked to see me with a book in my hand. And, I might have that book for a week or two, and then I'm done with it. I got another book. On to the next. I done read a library worth of books. Right now, I've been reading a lot of like self-help books. I like reading other people's stories, because I want to start my own business. And I like reading other people's stories and finding out where they started from and where they finally ended up as. It gives me motivation. I've never looked at a self-help book as something that's going to magically, fame and fortune is just going to appear in front of you. If that's what you read them kind of books for, then you're sadly mistaken. I read them as just motivation for seeing other people's stories, taking the motivation in that, seeing how far they came, and knowing that I can do the same. And I could turn around and write a book and hopefully do the same for somebody else. The last 2 books I read was Charlemagne, Black Privilege, Opportunity That Comes to Those Who Create It. After that, I read The Buddha in Your Mirror, which is a book on Buddhism. 2 self-help books, that's pretty much my favorite genre right now. My next book is going to be Gary Vaynerchuk, Jab, 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 Right Hook. It's basically a social media marketing book. So since my business is going to be online, social media, as I'm doing right now, creating video content, I figure I might as well get a book that's going to help me create a blueprint for what I'm trying to do. That way I go into it actually having some idea of what I'm doing, instead of just throwing videos out there like a bat out of hell. And I got it all from reading. You know what I'm saying? I mean, reading is great for like when you want to research your career. A lot of people just jump into careers thinking that they're going to just make things happen. They just want to freestyle. It's always better to do research before that, by reading books. Any information you want to find in today's world, you can read it in a book. You can go online. I mean, the information is out there. It's the information age. The best information usually comes from a book. Everyone knows that. You know, reading can definitely be very important to your future success, because if you're researching the field that you want to be in, at least you'll have some, you know, and you're not going to be perfect, you know, but at least you'll have some idea of what to do once you get there. You know, you could read up on other people's stories on how they did it. You could read up on the business itself, how it evolved, how the major players started off, where they went, and it gives you again another blueprint on how you should move, and you know the things that you need to do. Those things, it gives you a starting point to say, okay, they started off here. This is where I can go. You know, a lot of people, let's say in the music industry, to break their records, they started off at the college campuses promoting their music over there. So if you want to be in the music industry, you start off at the college campus. Now, if you didn't know that, you probably just be walking around like a bat out of hell, passing your mixtape to everyone, not understanding that the best place for people who want new music is the college campus, because they're still young. They don't have many responsibilities. They're actually able to check out all the new stuff. They want to be cool. They want to be ahead of the social curve. They want to tell all their friends, hey, did you hear about this new artist? You know, college students. A lot of people don't know that. Reading also helps in your social interactions. Like when let's say you meet a girl and you don't know what to say, you can start telling her about a book you read as a way to impress her. A lot of guys, they're not going to say that. They're gonna tell her how pretty she looks for the 1,000th time, something that she's probably heard a million times before. You start telling her about this new book you read, you'd be surprised the response you get. You know what I'm saying? When you in a group setting, you meet a bunch of new people, you sound a lot smarter. You're talking about all of these variety of topics that you learn from books. So, I mean, it's so many things that you could get from reading. It's amazing to me that people don't take advantage of it more. It's right there for you if you want it. And like I said, it helps you escape to another world. So whatever you're going through, you don't want to deal with the world, you can just dive into a book and go into somebody else's world. You know, it could be a great distraction for a few hours, however long you want it to be. You know, you go into a library, you could distract yourself for the rest of your life. There's so many books out there, so many genres, so little time. But my phone, my cameras look like it's about to die, so I'm about to call it a night. Thanks for listening. Drop a comment, and as always, it's just my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Holla at your boy. Peace.